Okay, guess we'll start it off. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Manitoba Moose media availability. If you have a question for head coach Pascal Vincent, please raise your hand and I'll be able to call on you as we go through. We'll start off with Dave Manouk. Go ahead, Dave.
Thanks, Jen. Hi, Coach. How are you?
Good, yourself?
I'm doing all right. Just on the idea of being back, the season's, tentatively booked to start on February 5th. How are you dealing with, there's still some uncertainty. We don't even know what the All-Canadian division is going to look like, and you don't have a schedule yet. So how does that uncertainty impact your planning for your schedule?
Well, it changes quite a bit. I've never been so, I don't want to say last minute, but we're changing by every day is we have some new information. The whole concept of the taxi squad, who's going to go up, who's going to go down, it changes everything. So today we had our first day, and like I was telling the players, we have 11 skaters, 10 skaters, 2 goalie. It's not a typical training camp. But so this is what we're going to try to do, and that's what we're going to try to achieve. We're going to control the controllables, and we're going to try to do to insert components of our system in every practices. We're going to have battles, we're going to have pace, and we're going to work on execution with and without the puck. And then once we have a full team, we can attach all of those components together. But for now, it's we're trying to adjust. And then that's the American League, and that's a league where you need to adapt consistently. You need to adjust yourself, and we can control only what we can control. So the plan, that having a plan like we usually do before training camp, knowing how many players you're going to have, a number of days, and having the schedule planned out, we don't have any of that right now. So we're adjusting day by day.
And I guess for you personally, what does it mean to be back on the ice? I mean, obviously you helped the Jets in the bubble, but this is your team, and now you're getting a chance to work with these young players and some of the older players, obviously, but getting an opportunity to be back on the ice. So what does that mean for you personally?
Well, it's exciting for sure. And there's we have a bunch of guys that I don't really know about. So today I had a first chance to see some of those guys. We know about their stats, and we have a profile on every single players, but for to see those guys on the ice and how they skate, their mechanics. Obviously, like today, we're aware of some of those guys haven't touched the ice in a while. Some guys didn't skate since December. So we need to be to understand that part. But it's exciting for sure to be back on the ice and to be working with the guys and to see them working at their crafts. It's a real good feeling.
We'll go next to Jacob Stoller. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hey, Pascal. I just wanted to ask you about Cole Perfetti. Obviously, he had a very strong junior season last year, a strong World Junior tournament, and normally he wouldn't be able to play in the AHL at this time. But how much of an opportunity do you think the AHL could forge for him in his development at this point in time?
I think this is great for him. He's understanding, or he's learning about the language that we use and the components of our systems. He's understanding the kind of practices we're going to run. He's exposed to pro players. Like he had some battles today against bigger guys. I think it's huge for him. Of course, practicing doesn't replace playing games, and in the best case scenario, he's playing junior and he's playing a lot of minutes and he's being put in a position to succeed and under pressure. And that's a great way to develop as well. But I think what we're doing right now is the second best scenario. And for him to be exposed to our language and the way we do things here, the way we run our team, and to be practicing and battling against bigger and stronger players. I think it's a real good understanding of what it's going to take down the line and in the future to become a Jet player.
Just one more. Usually someone draft eligible like him could get a stint after his junior season. Do you mind just speaking about the differences in getting to, develop the player before he possibly goes back to junior as opposed to after, and how he could benefit from that?
Well, yeah. So I think every team has a different kind of system, and we work. We do a lot of, even at training camp and even at with the Jets, being part of the team for a while, and even in the bubble. There's a lot of component teaching, like just picking up pucks along the boards and then working the boards one-on-one, how to protect that puck in the offensive zone. How we want our players to attack the net, and the net drive, and the mechanics and the components of those plays that we insert into our system. So for him, I think the development to be here will give him some kind of a jump start for the following years. Obviously, we're trying to adjust, and we're excited to work with him, and we'll see how it's going to go. But I think what he's gaining right now is going to be really helpful for his training next year, knowing what kind of training camp we're running. As I think one of the things that the players usually realize when they first come to the Jets or the Moose is the conditioning. Is you think you're in good shape, but there's the NHL or pro hockey conditioning, which is at a different level. So just that part for him to understand and to see players around him, how hard they can push and strong they can be on the ice. That's a big piece of becoming a good pro.
We'll go next to Kelly Moore. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thanks, Jen. Hey, Pascal, if you can talk a little bit more about the taxi squad, because you made reference to that, but it is certainly a new wrinkle that is going to affect your lineup. Would you be talking to Paul even more so than you already were on, who should be there, and have you developed any philosophies on who you would like to see with the taxi squad as opposed to who you have playing for the Moose?
No, I'm not going to speak more to Paul or Chevy or any of the management about that. This is they're running the Jets, and we're taking care of the players that we have. It's a bit tricky because the taxi squad is, in my opinion, it's a real good. It's a group of players that you have and can bring on the road. So if you have any injuries, you can insert them into your lineup. So in my opinion, you bring the best players available, because those guys, we've seen it last night with Gus and the night before with Vesalainen. If those guys are going to play games at the NHL level, that's great. So it's all about, the NHL is all about winning, and the reason of our existence at the American League level is to prepare those guys so they're ready when they're being called upon. So the taxi squad, it's all Jets, and we'll take care of the players that we have here.
And when you eventually get a schedule and know how many times you'll be playing each team, which I assume will be a lot, how much will discipline be at the forefront of getting prepared for the season? Because as we've even seen in the North Division, it doesn't take much to get things heated up.
Yes, it should, and that's great, right? I think when you look at development, and one of the reasons why making the playoffs is so important for us is we have a different evaluation on the players, and I think the season is going to be looking like small playoff series. You're going to play a lot of games against the same team, and maybe playing 4 games in a row against the same team, which would look like a playoff series. And that's going to be somewhat our approach here, trying to win those smart series within the season. I think it's going to be intense. I think there's going to be some rivalries. It's going to be emotionally intense, and that's what we want. So obviously, the component of staying disciplined, but bringing your emotional level as high as you can be, and staying disciplined is something that comes with maturity, and that's going to be a good moment to evaluate and help our players bring that intensity high, but staying in control.
We'll go next to Patrick Williams. Go ahead, Patrick.
Sure. Thanks for doing this, Pascal. I just first question is, speaking with some players around the league, some of them have expressed some concern about testing, sanitizing, that sort of thing. How would you handle your players going through what is such a new experience for everybody?
We had over an hour Zoom meeting with all the players Saturday, and we explained the protocols, and that's going to be priority number one. We're going to spend a lot of time reminding them what needs to be done. We have hard rules that we're going to follow as a coaching staff, and it starts with the management, with the coaches, and that's it. There's no other way, and we're not going to be flexible there. It's either you do it, or if you don't, then you're not going to stay around the team. So there's some teaching to be done and reinforcement, but we're not going to be flexible. It's we're going to do it the proper way.
And then a lot of players right now have been going through a lot of financial stress, contract stress. There's potential pay cuts going on this season. How do you keep the players focused on the job at hand and not let their attention drift off to maybe some of their personal concerns?
Well, we communicate to our players consistently, but that's Patrick. That's one part I really don't go there. I never talk about money. This is not why I'm being paid. But if they have any concerns, they certainly know that we're here and we have the proper people to help them. I would say that all of them have agents, and their agents would have a serious or an important role to play in concern about that subject. But that's one part that I don't go there. It's I never talk about money with the players.
Sure. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we have time for just a few more. So we'll go to Ted Wyman. Go ahead, Ted.
Thanks, Jen. Good to see you again, Pascal. The question I wanted to ask you about was Logan Stanley. What are your thoughts on what he's been able to do so far with the Jets?
I like the way he's playing. We could tell at training camp he was stronger and faster. Obviously, for defensemen, it takes a little bit more time most of the time. I think most defensemen will peak at the age of 26, 27, 28. For Logan, there was a lot of expectations, still are. There is lots of expectations for him. But I think he's responding really well. I see composure in his games. He's making good plays with the puck, and then people don't know how good he can be with the puck. It's not, he can make those little plays. He can make those hard passes on the tape, keeping the game simple. He has a presence. He's using his stick properly. For some players, and I truly believe that, for some players, it's in some weird ways, it's easier to play in the NHL. It's obviously way faster, but the players are where they should be on the ice. There's less confusion on the ice for players like Logan, having the options always being available for him when he touches the puck makes the game a little bit easier. And it might not be the right way, but it makes sense in his reads when he's on the ice. I think he's doing well, and I want to congratulate him because this summer he did something different. But a big body like him, I think the thing that he's improved a lot is getting used to his big body and adjusting his positioning. And there's different ways to play the game and different ways to get the puck back, for example. And he's using his size and his body to do it right. He's got Charlie Huddy to talk to when he's got some questions. The coaching staff is really strong with the Jets. Eric Dubois did an amazing job with him over the years. But I think now he feels confident that he can play at that level. And that's a big piece for a defenseman. That confidence is there. And then I think he's playing the proper way, and I think he's playing well.
And one last quick one, Pascal. Has Eric Dubois been walking on cloud nine the last couple of days?
Well, for sure, they're excited. They're excited because You know, he's also a dad, and him and his wife, they're really excited to have their son in town and playing for the Jets, and that's we're excited to have him too.
Next, we'll go to Joey Slattery. Go ahead, Joey.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to mute my mic. Thanks for doing this. Sorry, Pascal, I got on this a little late. You might have answered this, but I just want to know what your first impression was seeing Cole Perfetti on the ice today, and what his biggest adjustment will be, like from an on-ice perspective, not so much in terms of getting used to. I heard you talking about is, you know, getting used to the language of pro hockey, but what will be the biggest adjustment on the ice in order for him to be effective at this level? Excuse me, at this level.
Yes, time and space, time and space is not as is different. There's none, and so you have to create your own, finding ways to read the open space to get open. So he's not going to play the same way as Adam Lowry, for example. He's a smaller player, and I watched the games at the World Juniors, the way he moves on the ice and his ability to change directions. He's obviously somebody that studies the game. He can read plays. His reads are quick, and he's got real good hands. And he's quite agile on the ice. So he's not going to use his body because he's playing as an 18-year-old this year. So he's not going to use his body. He's not going to be as strong as some other players. But that's okay. There's different ways to play the game and still be successful. So I've seen a kid that is or a young man that is listening, and he's trying to do what we've asked of him. So we had the training camp with the Jets, and in between the Jets and the Moose, we had some practices with 5 or 6 guys every day, and he was on the ice, and we could tell every day he's getting better. He's asking questions, and he's able to execute pretty quick what we're asking out of him. So it's a good sign. I think he's going to be a guy that will be able to create offense at this level pretty quick, but he will need some support 5-on-5 to understand the routes and what we're asking of him. We also have in mind to develop him as a center, but also as a wing, so he has the different options. And patience, will have to be patient because it's a matter of time for him getting stronger, getting bigger. He's still so very young. But you can tell he's really smart, and he's got good skills, not only with his hands, but with his feet. He's quite agile around the puck, and his ability to separate himself from a defender is pretty impressive.
We'll finish it off with Mike Sawatsky. Go ahead, Mike.
Hi, Pascal. Just a couple of quick things. I missed part of your answer on Perfetti. When the OHL starts up, does he go back there immediately, or what happens with that?
The honest truth is I don't know the answer of that.
Okay. How about the Vancouver loaned players? I don't see them on the training camp roster yet. When do they show up, and how does that affect Cole Kaler, perhaps?
I don't know yet the answer to that. Whoever we're going to treat them like Moose players, and that's the plan. But who and when, and I'm not sure exactly. We're still trying to figure out the schedule. As soon as we have more, we'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Pascal.
Yeah, anytime.